Good morning, everybody. Just popping on again this morning on this beautiful sunny Saturday again. The one good thing about lockdown is the weather has been quite good, so at least it's something positive in these times. This morning I'm just really quickly going to run through your hair tools that you have at home, as in your electrical equipment. I mean, I know a lot of you are very familiar how to use them, and you all know your own hair, as good as I almost know it. But to be honest, there are little tips and tricks that you just need to watch out for. And as I said, it's probably no harm to run through them. The other side of it is, this will answer a few queries that we get asked quite a lot in the salon about, different tools. So perhaps we'll just have a quick run through. Well, the first one and the most obvious one that you all are very familiar with, and you're probably using more now than ever, because a lot of you haven't blow dried your own hair for years, is your friendly, trusted hairdryer. I spoke about this before, so I'm not going to dwell on it for too long. Suffice to say that, there's a few things you always need to do. Always use your handle. That's a given. Always use a nozzle. That's a given. Always clean the filter. That's not so much something that a lot of people do, but very, very important. It will keep your dryer working far more efficiently and also extend its life. So again, always clean your filter. Cold shot. Use your cold shot. That's basically used for when your hair is cooling down at the end before you remove your styling products or styling tools, say hairbrushes and that. Just make sure the hair is cold. Handy for that. Another little simple handy tip with that as well is if perhaps you're using dry shampoo at the moment, to disperse it through the hair. A lot of people are inclined to lift their section and put it on their root, spray it in, and then it stays in a clump. And as I spoke about before, especially with dark hair like mine, you can see most dry shampoos insofar as they are kind of a white talcum powder consistency. So it's no harm at all just to blast it really quickly through the hair on a cold shot, and it will do two things. First of all, it will work far more efficiently, and also it takes that kind of matte powdered look away from your root, so it's not near as obvious. But the big thing is it just works far more efficiently, and your hair will thank you for it. So that's another little tip on your cool shot. Next one I'm going to have a little chat to you about is the curling tongs. Right now, a lot of you will have these maybe and never ever use them, but they might be around a while, but now's the time that you might consider it again. Okay, the difference between, first of all, curling tongs and a wand, for instance, is that the tongs has the clamp. Most of you, are familiar with these from years ago. The wand is a newer appliance, but again, the tongs has a clamp. The other main difference is that it has a uniform barrel. So along here is the same width from tip to in here. So that's the main difference. A wand is normally conical and it tapers off to a point at the end. For short hair, the best way to use it is to actually hold it horizontal, open the clamp, slip in the hair, close it and twist and leave on for maybe 5 seconds. Okay, for longer hair I don't recommend that you put in the ends first. Longer hair, normally it's more dehydrated and it's more damaged at the end, so you don't need to put it in and clamp it because it's going to be in it far too long, and this, because it's in first, it's the part that will be damaged first. So basically for longer hair, perhaps hold it, wrap it, and then just at the end clamp it. So that's probably, you can even use this as a wand as well if you actually just clamp it with the barrel closed. Not quite as good because it doesn't give you the tapered curl, but just give you an idea. So again, twist it and leave it on maybe 5-7 seconds to get the best curl. The other thing that you must remember is with a wand especially, and on longer hair, always use it vertically. Hold it down from the head. So start with your root here and bring it down. If you are trying to lift volume at the roots, what you need to do is actually hold it horizontally. So then take it there and then maybe give it a little twist when it's halfway down. Again, experiment with it. Main thing is section the hair. Don't put too much hair through it. Obviously the narrower the barrel, the tighter the curl. So if you're looking for a really spiral curl, go for a narrower tongs or wand. But in most cases you're not. It's more of a beachy wave you're looking for. So again, just wrap it quite a thick enough section, but yet enough that the heat can penetrate all the hair evenly. So that's it. Most tongs nowadays, they all come with a dial where you can control the heat settings, and obviously just because it'll go to 210 for instance doesn't mean that you need to use it at 210. Depending on the texture of your hair, a lower heat setting is probably ample. That said, don't put it too low, it will do nothing and you will keep going over and over the same piece of hair all of the time. GHDs then, your straightening irons, your flat irons, again, few rules with that. If you can at all, use a heat protectant thermal spray. A thermal protection spray will certainly, it will certainly help the integrity of your hair, and because with regular use flat irons, they do cause damage, they are hot. Again, the one thing is, don't use them on their highest heat setting, and a lot of people do this. A good tip I find for it, again, obviously goes without saying, section. Makes life so much easier. Take your section, brush it through, pass it through very quickly, maybe once or twice through the hair, and then on the last clamp, bring it much slower down the hair and bring it out right through to the ends. If you want to kind of keep it smooth, the slower pass is better. But at the same time, you don't want to clamp it and move it and clamp it and move it and clamp it, because you will have lines through the hair, and that's the one thing you need to avoid. So with the GHD, use your thermal protectant spray. Don't use it, the GHD I mean now, too often. And again, I suppose the one other thing to remember is, don't always use it on the highest heat setting, and especially for curls, and that you can curl it. Same rules apply. Hold it, vertically. Again, if you want more of a spiral curl, there's different tricks and tips as how to get them, and YouTube will help you on that as well. It does take a little bit of learning, and of course, I suppose the one thing you do have to remember is use caution when you're using all of these. They are so hot. We have been told so many horror stories of duvets burning, mattresses burning, where, they do go to sleep. Most of them go to sleep after 30 minutes, but 30 minutes is a long time for a hot appliance. So be careful where you're leaving them down on dressing tables and on worktops. Again, just something to bear in mind. Again, obviously keep them out of reach of children, because they can cause serious burns. So, use them with caution, but you all know that already. The one other thing you need to do, and a lot of people don't actually do this, or not as often as they should, is to actually clean them. And it sounds really obvious, but sometimes it's not even so much that they're physically dirty, but what happens is that if there's product on the hair or hairspray, or it can leave a residue on the barrels of these, the heat can actually seal it, and sometimes you see almost, you'll see a staining on it. At the moment, anytime, one of the alcohol wipes, again, brilliant. Again, clean the handles, of course. That goes without saying. At the moment, we're also conscious of it anyway. But clean the barrels as well. Tongs, GHDs, if the plates aren't clean, they're not going to work to their best ability. So, that's of utmost importance. Other than that, ladies, I can't tell you a lot more about them, really. If you need to have any specific question and you would like to contact me, just leave a comment on here. I'm delighted to help out. Again, we have no date for returning to work. I know so many of you have been in contact with me, and thank you so much for that. I'm delighted to hear from you. I'm grateful that a lot of you are going to leave your hair alone, and of course, the one thing, as I said before, we will look after you when we get back. We don't know what we're going back to, but all we do know is that the minute it's safe, we will do our best to return and, of course, look after you. So in the meantime, ladies, stay safe, have a nice weekend. Every day is the same now. It seems to be, whether it's Friday, Saturday or Sunday, it's all the same. But, as I said, when the weather is good, at least, most of us have gardens, and it is nice to have a little bit of home time too with our loved ones. So bye-bye, everybody, and stay safe. Take care.